Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. This is going to be Wednesday's pre-recorded video. Now, yesterday, if you guys did not see the breaking news, there was a lot of news in terms of NFL media-wise, so let's go ahead and go over that really quickly. I want to get my reactions out of the way, and then this is going to be a pre-recorded video because, of course, I will be on the way to Atlanta tomorrow for a funeral. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into this news. Now, the first piece of NFL news that we have is that an in-season Hard Knocks will now feature 4 different teams from one division. That is huge. Going from, obviously, last year we got the Miami Dolphins. That was a huge hit. I really loved that show. So I'm interested to see this show. But, again, that's huge. The next thing is that the Eagles will play in Brazil in Week 1 on Friday night. And this game is going to be televised exclusively on Peacock. Now, frick Peacock, I don't know why they're still doing, and obviously shows and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just don't like it. I probably won't watch this game just because it's on Peacock, but it's rumored now that they're going to be playing the Packers or another team. Let me know in the comments who it is. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but it's rumored they're going to play the Packers in Brazil. Now, with that being said, Amazon will now exclusively broadcast a wild card game. That's better than Peacock, so at least they're upping it. Amazon Prime is definitely a lot better than Peacock. I actually enjoyed the broadcast with Kirk Herbstreit and the NBC guys, so I'm very interested to see how that's going to go. And the last one is that the NFL will now have 2 Wednesday Christmas Day games this year. The 4 teams likely playing in a doubleheader the previous Saturday to even out the timing/scheduling of that. So that's the NFL news we got. We can speculate all we want about the Christmas Day games. That's going to take a while. Just wanted to get those piece of news out there before we hop into are grading in every NFL team's offseason. So what is up, everybody? Of course, you guys are new to the channel. This video intro is kind of getting a little long. You already know what to do. Drop a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Pre-recorded video today. I am on the way to Atlanta, so any comments, I hopefully will be replying to some of those. But again, we're grading every NFL team's offseason so far. Let's go ahead and hop right into it as we got a lot to talk about. Alright, so the first team we've got on the list is the Arizona Cardinals. I give them a B. They went out and got some defense, if I'm not mistaken. They lost Hollywood Brown for sure, yes. But, again, they're a really solid team without Hollywood Brown. They can make plays. They got some defensive sides. I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the draft. So I'd give them either a C or a B. I'm not so sure on which one I should do. Maybe a C now that I'm thinking about it. So Arizona Cardinals, you guys get a C. Moving on, you got the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to say I give them a B. They get a B. Obviously, they're not keeping Odell Beckham around for the long run, but that's besides the point. Obviously, they're losing Jadeveon Clowney, but they got some guys on the veteran defensive side of the ball as well, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a B. I'm not really sure about that. That's just my opinion on that. Don't hate on it. But again, the Baltimore Ravens get a B. Moving on, you got the Atlanta Falcons. They get an A+. They went out and did what they needed to do. They traded away Desmond Ridder. They went out and fired Arthur Smith this past offseason. They signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year contract. They're getting playmakers, and then I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the draft. If they get a good guy in the draft or so, they will definitely be a scary team to watch in the NFC South. But for now, they get an A+. They've done all the right things. Now it's time to put that on the field, translate it on the field. Hopefully Kirk Cousins and the guys are getting some work in. But with that being said, the Atlanta Falcons get a A+ for what they've done. They went out and did what they needed to do, and now they're looking like a true threat to the NFC South. Moving on, you got the Buffalo Bills. I give them about a C. They really haven't done anything. In fact, they lost a bunch of people. They lost Dane Jackson to the Carolina Panthers, which we'll talk about that one in a second. They've obviously, the Stephon Diggs rumors is not helping at all. They've lost a couple of offensive linemen, if I'm not mistaken, too. So they haven't really done anything. I give them a B. I don't know. They're not looking like one of the teams. I don't think they're going to contend for a Super Bowl this year. I could be wrong. But again, I just think that they haven't really done anything this offseason to prove it. They haven't really went out and had any major signings, and that's what I'm looking for. So they get a C, in my opinion. Moving on, you got the Carolina Panthers. My team obviously, I'm going to give them a B+. They went out, obviously, Robert Hunt is a great addition to the offensive line. Damian Lewis, again, is another fantastic addition to this offensive line. They got Deontay Jackson, which is a weapon for Bryce Young. They're working on getting a contract with Adam Thielen, I'm pretty sure. They're working on signing Jadeveon Clowney. But you also getting guys like DJ Wagama from the Minnesota Vikings. And then they also got another edge rusher in there as well. So they got some better guys to replace Brian Burns. And then if you go out and sign Jadeveon Clowney, which they have not yet at the time of recording this video, then you're in business. The Carolina Panthers are in business, and I give them a B+ for now. They got weapons for Bryce so far. They've gotten some offensive line protection. Excited to see what we can do in the NFL draft. Moving on, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. I give them a C. They haven't really done anything to my extension. Actually, they traded away Joe Mixon, which was great for them. But, again, the T. Higgins situation is not helping them at all. He has requested a trade, which obviously shows that he wants out, and they haven't really done anything up to that point. So with that being said, they get a C. I was almost thinking about giving them a D, but again, they just haven't done anything. I'm interested to see what they'll do draft-wise, but they haven't done anything, and the T. Higgins stuff is not making it any better. Trading Joe Mixon away is what they needed to do, but again, they signed Zach Moss, so that's a plus for them, but he's just not one of those playmaking guys, so I'm going to give them a C right now, currently, and we'll hold on that to the draft, but for now, they get a C. Moving on, you got the Chicago Bears. They get an A+. They've done what they needed to do. In my personal opinion, they should have kept Justin Fields. Now, with that being said, he's out of the question. We know who they're drafting. They're drafting number 1 overall, Caleb Williams of USC. But with that being said, they went out and got Mike Williams. They went out and got Keenan Allen. They got DJ Moore still. They've got a lot. And they also have 2 back-to-back picks this year. So they get an A+. They've got weapons for their future quarterback. That's what they need to succeed. So with that being said, they get an A+. They've signed a lot of players. Now let's see if they can put it on the field. Moving on, you got the Cleveland Browns. Now, signing Jerry Jeudy was a good deal for them, but they get a C for me. That's really all they've done this year. They signed Joe Flacco again, I believe. But no, they did not sign Joe Flacco. Don't quote me on that one. But again, they haven't really done anything for me to be surprised right now. So they get a C in my opinion. That's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And you got the Dallas Cowboys. They get a flat out F. We have not signed anybody. And when I say that, they signed 40-year-old Eric Kendricks. That's about literally it. They signed a punt returner. If Jerry Jones really wants to go all in, then you better do something in the draft. If you don't do something in the draft, I'm going to be pissed at how this offseason went for us. It is not looking likely that we are going all in. In fact, I think the Carolina Panthers are more all in on this year than the Dallas Cowboys are right now at this current moment, with getting weapons for Bryce and getting some edge rushers. Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have done a fantastic job. But for now, the Dallas Cowboys haven't done shit. So they're going to get an F. Hopefully that changes, but I don't see it changing, so they get an F right now currently. Moving on, you got the Denver Broncos. I give them an A. They actually did what they needed to do. They got rid of Russell Wilson. Obviously, they're still paying him $38 million guaranteed, but they did what they needed to do. They got rid of him. They're rebuilding for a full year. Maybe sign a veteran guy like Michael Thomas to come play for Sean Payton. That would be a good pickup for them. And then maybe they'll roll with Jared Stidham. If not, they'll draft a quarterback in this year's draft and hopefully have those 2 guys competing for the spot. It'd be funny to see Bo Nix and Jared Stidham on the exact same team for an Auburn fan, in my opinion. But right now, they got an A. They did what they needed to do. Now they can focus on the draft and rebuilding for futures. You got the Detroit Lions. They get a C. They haven't really done a whole lot. That Cam Sutton thing that's going on with them, I don't know what's happening with them. So, again, they get a C. I just haven't really heard of all the news that they've been getting. So they get a C, but for now, and I'll see what they can do in the draft. But right now, they just get a C because they haven't really done anything, and that Cam Sutton thing is not helping them out at all. Moving on is the Houston Texans, and round of applause. I'm just giving them a round of applause right now. They get an A+. They signed, obviously, a running back. They got Joe Mixon, traded for him. They got some more draft capital, I believe, as well. They're going all in with CJ Stroud and them. So I expect them to get a wild card win next year. If you're the Houston Texans, that's my realistic current expectation for them. That may change going forward, but right now, they're looking like a very scary playoff team. So the Houston Texans get an A+. They have done phenomenal, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where they've signed a lot of players. So with that being said, they get an A+ for now. They're helping Will Anderson out on the defense. CJ Stroud got himself a running back right now. They get an A+. They've done everything right up to this point. Now it's time for the draft. On, you got the Green Bay Packers. I'm not too sure about that. I give them a B+. Now, they signed Josh Jacobs, which in the long run is probably the better decision than to have 30-year-old Aaron Jones on the roster. At least with Josh Jacobs, you get about a 24, 25-year-old running back who's still really, really solid for development-wise and definitely will fit well with Jordan Love in that system. Now, with that being said, let's see what they can do in the draft, right? They got to do some work within this draft class. They may have to draft another wide receiver. They may have to do something. But again, I don't know. They get a B+. They signed who they needed to sign. So, yeah, they just get that. On is the Indianapolis Colts. They get a B. They kept their gang needed to where they needed to go with Michael Pittman. Obviously, the defensive stars that they have as well. And then you sign Joe Flacco to a backup position. Maybe he'll teach Anthony Richardson a thing or two about being in this league. So that's kind of what I'm wondering is going to happen right now. But for now, they get a C. They just haven't done anything else other than what they needed to. Moving on, you got the Los Angeles Rams. They get a C. I mean, they haven't really done anything. And with the loss of Aaron Donald, that does not help them at all. So right now, I would give the Rams a C just because they haven't really made any big splashes yet. But I'm sure they will in the draft. You got to draft a couple of edge rushers if you're the Rams for them to pick up where Aaron Donald left off. So with that Aaron Donald thing, that's just not going to go for them. So I give them a C+ for now. I'm going to run through the rest of these very quickly because, again, I've got stuff I got to do here within the next couple of minutes. The Jags, they get a B. They signed, obviously, Josh Allen. They re-signed him. They re-signed a couple of their key defensive players. So that is where they get a B for now. The Minnesota Vikings, they get a C. They didn't really sign anybody for a whole lot and make a big splash. So that's why I got them at a C. The Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, they get an A. A- in my opinion. They signed Hollywood Brown, who is a huge playmaker for them, which gives them a wide receiver. And they cut MVS, which was a great thing to hear because they did not need him on the roster. Now, if you're the Saints, they get a B, in my opinion. Raiders, they get a C. New York Giants, they get an A. They get a B. They get a B. They signed Brian Burns. They're really solid this year. They're going to be really good for defensive-wise. Now, they lost Saquon Barkley, but again, they can get somebody in the draft if they really want somebody of that caliber. Now, you're the Los Angeles Chargers. They get a D. They didn't do anything all of that good. They, in fact, lost a bunch of their playmakers. So, with that being said, they get a D. The Eagles, they get an A. They signed, I believe, they signed Saquon. They've signed a couple of defensive players as well. So, they get an A. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they get a B. They get a B. Not sure about that. The San Francisco 49ers get an A. Actually, no, they get a C. I don't know what I'm thinking here, but they get a C. The New England Patriots get an A+. They're trying to figure it out. They brought back some key guys on the offensive line. They brought back Hunter Henry, who their big tight end is, and then some. So yeah, they also can get a quarterback within their next draft. So they get a B. Now you got the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to give them a B in my opinion. I just don't know about them so far. Then you get the New York Jets. They get an A+. They got Aaron Rodgers some weapons. They got an offensive line. They're chilling right now. They're looking really solid. Then you got the Tampa Bay Bucks. I give them an A. They kept what they need to keep. They got Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin back. So they got their gang back together. Then you got the Steelers. Round of applause for them. They get an A+. They signed who they needed to sign. They got Russ on a one-year deal. They got a young quarterback in Justin Fields right now. They traded away Kenny Pickett. They're coming along as of late. And then you got the Washington Commanders on the other hand. I give them a B. They signed basically the entirety of the Dallas Cowboys' team, which I found that super funny. And then you got the Tennessee Titans letting down Derrick Henry walk, but you got Calvin Wrigley. They get a B+. So, again, that is where I am at for the rest of the NFL. Of course, that is going to be all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. I'm worn out with videos today, and that's why I kind of ran through this. My neck kind of hurts right now. But, yeah, that's where I'm going to hop off, get this edited so you guys can watch it tomorrow. Don't hate on me in the comments down below. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to think this through. I'm sure tomorrow or the next week we may do this thing again just to kind of see where we're at. But currently, that is where I'm going to hop off, get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. X-Men 97 today, so I'm going to try and watch that as well. But, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's pre-recorded video.